who had been longing for God to bless her with a seed, with a child. She had an adversary in her house. Her name was Peniah, who also was married to her husband. And Peniah was able to have children, but she would throw her having children in the face of Hannah, to the point that Hannah ran away from her husband and who was agitating her, made her way to church and said, Lord, if you give me a son, I'll give him back to you. She prayed to the point that her lips were moving, but no words were coming out. And Eli the prophet came out and saw her weeping, accused her of being drunk. She says, I'm not drunk. I'm talking to my God. And while talking to her God, Eli hears from the Lord and says, whatever your petitions are, you shall have it. God blessed her and gave her one of the greatest prophets ever, and his name is Samuel. When you ask God for something and he gives it to you, it's a gift. Sean, to you, this is God's gift. Some people may not like how it arrived, but it's still God's gift. But can I help you today? Because God trusts you with the gift, your responsibility is to nurture the gift, raise the gift. The same way you desire to be close to God, teach her how to get close to God. You ought to be a living epistle, meaning example of God in the earth to her. You ought to be the very example of what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a mother, a daughter, a sister. She's going to be looking to you as her example because God trusted you with the gift. I got aunties and uncles up here. Your job is to assist her with nurturing the gift. Because the environment you create at home, we as your church ought to be an extension of that environment. But there's a protection that God is giving around this daughter, this child, that she's not going to want for anything. So your responsibility is to ensure that she's protected and cared for, and that she always follows the instructions of her mother. You don't raise her, you make sure she's following how she's being raised. I see you, boo. Y'all didn't know, I spoke the date she was going to be born. And she was born on that day. And every Sunday she would be at the house looking at me on the TV, lifting all of her fingers. They got pictures. This child is a church baby. She's going to be one that the kingdom's going to know. Godparents, your job is to ensure if anything happens to the mother, you will step in and raise this beautiful child the way that God sees fit. Grandparents, you've been waiting for this new. I ain't gonna talk to this one right here. She thinks she the mama and the everything else. I know what I'm talking about. Your job is one thing, only two things. Trust that how you raised her, she will do the same for her. But you got another job, to spoil that baby right and give her right back I didn't say the stuff you spoiling her with, just give her back. Keep that stuff at your house. Amen. Church, we have a job. That is to make sure that our environment here caters to her growth. That she's surrounded by women of excellence, men of virtue and stature, who will show her the way, not only to Jesus, but to life. And church, if you'll accept that responsibility, say, I will. If you accept the responsibility, say, I will. All right. Hold us, I'm just pray for her. Then I'm going to pick her up. Stretch your hands this way, church. God, I thank you for Caslin Watts. Thank you that she is your gift to the earth, gift to this family. We speak she's blessed in the city, blessed in the field, blessed where she comes, blessed where she goes. Everything her hand touches, blessed, because your hand is on her life. Thank you for her parents. Thank you for her grandparents. Thank you for her godparents, her aunts, uncles, and aunties. Thank you for this church as together we surround her with love and peace and your joy. Now, God, keep the enemy away from her until you have taken her through the fire, that when the enemy shows